Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of RBO Real Ballers Only with your boy Vaughn. We're here to talk about the second round of the in-season tournament that we had yesterday. We had a lot of exciting games, and I'm excited to really get into those. Like I said, we was hoping that it created some competitive edge, like it was playoff like atmospheres, and we did have some good games. Before I get started, I'd like for y'all to like, subscribe, and share this video with anybody you think that would be interested in this NBA topic, learning about the in-season tournament. And also, I would like for you guys to stay tuned for our other shows. We have BWT with Teddy. We have CTC with Carl. We have FFC with Coach. We also have the Joe Jordan Show. We have Dave's Doghouse. And we have the newest show, In the Red Corner, with boxing. I believe it's going to premiere tomorrow on Sunday. And we also have the R2L Refuse to Lose main show with Joe, Dave, and Tom. So stay tuned for all those. The Refuse to Lose network is growing, and we're covering you guys with mostly all the sports out there. So stay tuned and show some support. But with nothing else to say, let's get into these games. The first matchup we have is the 76ers versus the Pistons. Now, this game I thought was going to be a blowout from the start, but the Pistons actually jumped out and gave the 76ers a good run for their money. First quarter, they won the first quarter 33-21. And I thought they were looking pretty good. They lost their young, very good rookie and Jalen Duren, who I thought if anybody had a chance against Embiid on that team, it would have been him. But they lost him to an ankle injury. Hope it's not that serious. Hope he gets to come back because he's one of my favorite players to watch as far as the young guys. Been watching this kid since high school, and he's really been balling. If you watched the last episode, I actually touched on him a bit. Actually, we talked about two other rookies on their team, so they have a lot of young talent over there, as you can see. But what stood out to me is Maxey and Embiid, man. Those two dudes combined for 62 points. I mean, if you add Tobias Harris 24, that's what 86 points from three guys starting. That's how you win. Your top heavy guys handle business, and you get a little contributions from some other guys. You get 10 from Milton, and you get 8 from Kelly Oubre. That's all that was needed. However, what really stood out to me this game was the free throws. And B was able to get to the line 19 and shoot 19 free throws. I mean, that's what he does, man. When you don't have a dominant center that can really check on, especially with Duran. He's only 6'10", actually, but he went out, so they had no answer for him. I don't think Stewart, I don't think Wiseman, I don't think Bagley could do nothing with Embiid, so he just feasted down low, ending with 33 points, 16 rebounds, and he 16 from 19 from the free throw line, so half his points came from off the line. As a team, though, they shot 19 more free throws in total and made 17 more than Detroit. So that's 17 extra points just off the line. Most NBA players should be able to make a free throw. So you get to the free throw line a little bit more, and then the game become a lot easier for you. Asura Thompson, 0 for 1 from the free throw line. What did I say last time? Attack the paint a little bit more. I mean, he did have 12 points, 6-11 shooting, 13 rebounds. We talked about how crazy he was on the glass, averaging 9 so far, 13 rebounds, and also 3 blocks. He had a decent game, but like I said, man, you got to attack that basket a little more, get to the free throw line, make the game a little easier for yourself. You have the athletic ability. You can you're pretty fast. You can get by guys. So I expect you to attack the basket a little bit more. You only shot 1 3, which is cool. You're not the greatest three-point shooter, so I don't expect you to hoist up a lot of threes. But attacking the basket, I think, would do you wonders, my boy. Killian Hayes. I mean, I know our boy CTC Carl is not a big fan, but he actually led their team in points. I mean, he shot 17 shots, which I don't expect him to keep doing. He's really more there for a facilitator and his defensive prowess. He's not the greatest defender, but he's probably the best wing defender on this team. Sasser didn't have a great game shooting, 3 for 13 from the field, 1 for 7 for 3, only 9 points. He had 4 assists, which, like I said, if he plays more, he will get his assist numbers up. He had 35 minutes this game. They just didn't get enough from their guys. K only had 21, 8 for 18 from the field, 5 fouls, so he was in foul trouble. He had 4 turnovers, which we know he does turn the ball over a lot. 7 assists to go with his 21, which isn't bad. It's a young Pistons team though. They were able to give out the first punch, but then third quarter came. They lost 21-35, and if you do that, then I mean third quarter coming out, the Sixers just came and punched them in their mouth. The Sixers had 13 steals and scored 27 points off the turnovers, which as a young team, you can't turn the ball over. It's any sport, man. You turn the ball over, bad things will happen. This was the first meeting between the two, so the Sixers are 1-0, and they're also 1-0 in the in-season tournament, and the Pistons are now 0-1. So it was a good game though. I think losing Durham really hurt the Sixers. They had no answer at all. I mean, Durham wasn't really doing a great job, to be honest, but they just had no answer once she sat down. I mean, if he was in the game, I thought they can do a little something with Embiid because he does play physical. He plays hard. He's tough on the glass, and he does block shots. So he did get 1 block this game, only 4 rebounds in the 23 minutes. So hopefully he doesn't be gone long because the Pistons, like I said in the first show, they need all the help they can get, man. All the help they can get. But the 76ers, man, after losing their first game, they won 7 straight, looking like the best team in the East right now. They just beat the Celtics as well. This team is looking really good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I trust Maxey to bring it every game. And B is the one, every year he's the one. I say this every year, man. If he comes out and dominate like he's supposed to, this Sixers team it's gonna be tough to beat, man. Nobody has an answer for this guy. Like literally no team. Um, so if he comes out and ball and does what he's supposed to do, I expect the Sixers to make a deep playoff run. Like I said, I trust Massey. I like Oubre over there with him. He brings a tough, competitive edge. He rebounds hard. When the shot's falling, it's really falling. I do like Batum over there as well. He's a great pickup, I think. Veteran. He's defensive. He's pretty good playing D. He's a pretty underrated passer as well, and he hit the three. So he doesn't need the ball in his hand all the time. So that's the type of team they need around him. Pat Bev, he only played 5 minutes, but you know what type of element he brings. He gives guys confidence. He makes guys play harder. He even brings an intensity to the team. So I like this Sixers team. Like I said, it all falls on Embiid, man. Embiid plays and does his thing. This team, I don't see nobody really beating this team. Well, I'm not gonna say beating this team. I'm gonna say they can beat anybody. I'm gonna say it like that. So that's the first game we had right there. Sixers keep doing your thing. Pistons are still building right now. They're 2-8 right now. So a lot of games they've been right there. They're young teams, so they can't have a lot of injuries. They've been dealing with a couple injuries. I mean, Jaden Ivey hasn't been back, and now we have Duran, who's been dealing with injury all year. So I can see the Pistons getting better and better throughout the year. But yesterday was all Embiid, Maxey, and Tobias Harris, man. The big three for the Sixers. They came through and played. So that was the first game. Second game is the Hornets versus the Wizards. Now this is a rematch. I think they played last game against each other, and the Wizards actually ended up winning. But I saw something on Instagram. They said this is probably the most non-competitive team in the league, and I'm like, come on, man, you can't say that's the NBA. And then they come out and beat the Hornets. Then it comes to the in-season tournament game, and they just took a L. I mean, Mark Williams, this kid dominated on the glass. 24 rebounds. He had 15 offensive rebounds, which is a franchise record, and also 9 defensive rebounds, totaling out to 21 rebounds. I mean, this Hornets team out rebounded them by 31, which is also a franchise record for the Hornets, 67-36. I mean, if you get killed on the glass like that, you can't win the game. Those are too many possessions. 15 offensive rebounds, that's 15 more shots at the basket. He had 21 points, 24 rebounds, double-double, 2020 game. Young rookie, not rookie, I'm sorry. Young guy out of Duke, another center out of Duke. Duke is producing some big men out there, man. That's on that glass, that's playing some defense out there, that's being active. And he had a solid game. I can't Not say enough about Gordon Hayward as well. 27, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. I spoke on how he wasn't giving them enough from the wing last time. And he showed out this game. I guess he watching the show. He like, hey, Vaughn, I'm going to let you know. I'm a real baller too. So shout out to Gordon Hayward. He definitely balled out. LaMelo Ball, another 20, 25-point game for the young guy, young star. He was battling some foul trouble, him and Brandon Miller, but he was able to play a decent game. 25 points, 4 for 8 from the 3-point line. He hits his threes, man. He's dangerous. Now, another thing that stood out to me was um, these guys. These guys had shot 6 for 8 from the 3-point line. So that gave a lot of opportunity for Mark Williams to actually eat on the glass. The Hornets wasn't really efficient from the 3-point line, but they was able, like I said, man, if you get 31 more rebounds in the team, then it's curtains. Kyle Kuzma, first game, he didn't hit 20 points, 17 points. Only 14 points from Jordan Poole. Big disappointment so far this year. I don't think he's had a 30-point game. A lot of people were speculating saying he was going to be the new James Harden, and I mean, so far he's been James Harden that was trying to get up out of Houston, Fat Harden. I mean, he ain't been doing enough. He had 2 20-point games, as high as 27 points. He hasn't been shooting that great from the 3-point line. He had one game where he shot over 40, over 30, I mean, over 50% from three. He had one game, 40% for three. Everything else, 20s and 30s. So he had to step his game up, man. First game of the year, he was over 6 from three. So Jordan Poole, APB out on you, my boy. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Like, you ain't been doing it. You ain't been doing it. The 2 games they won, I mean, Kuzma really was doing a thing for y'all. So I need you to step your game up for this team. This Wizards team, they got you. They were excited when they got you. They thought, like I said, you were going to be that 25, 26 points per game guy. You only hit 25 points one time so far. So you got to step your game up for the Hornets. I like what I see so far. They're not winning a lot of games, but like I said, man, if they let Terry Rozier go, trade him or something, and turn this into a LaMelo Ball show, I think that this team can be a lot better because if they lead with LaMelo, there's too many ball handlers out there. You have LaMelo out there, you have Rozier out there, even Gordon Hayward. He's a pretty good with the ball. So, like I said, he had 9 assists today, so he's a good facilitator. Since Rozier been out the last 3 games, you got 30-point triple double from LaMelo Ball, 34 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. That was last game on Wednesday against the Wizards that they lost. And then last game, 25 points and 6 assists, 6 rebounds. So, I mean, you see what, like I say, man, let it become a LaMelo Ball show. I think this team would be a lot better. They did lose those 2 30-point games by LaMelo. However, I think it's a new look for them without Rozier. Guys got to get comfortable. Guys got to get acclimated out there with each other without a Rozier. I mean, Rozier, he's a guy that he takes a lot of shots. I mean, we know how he is. He left Boston because he wanted to show that he can be that starting point guard. But this year, he's averaging 20, 22 points a game. He's not playing bad at all. But I just think that LaMelo is better. That's just my opinion. I think LaMelo is better. I think the team would go further with him leading. Um, Rozier is shooting 18 shots a game, which I think is too much. I really think he should come off the bench, to be honest. If they start the start lineup they had yesterday, I thought was pretty good. And bringing him off the bench would give them some more firepower off the bench because I don't think they have enough. Their starting lineup is just too cluttered to me with LaMelo and Rozier on that starting lineup. And I think it hinders LaMelo. I mean, Rozier is shooting more shots a game than LaMelo. I think that's ridiculous, to be honest. I think LaMelo is a way more talented player. He does a lot more with the ball. So Hornets going to be the Hornets, though. We know how this goes. We've been seeing it year after year after year. They just can't get it right. But like I say, man, if they let LaMelo lead this flock, I think this team will be a lot better. But they did get the dub yesterday, making them 1-0 in tournament play, and the Wizards are now 0-2 in tournament play. I mean, maybe that post about them being the most non-competitive team is true. I mean, will they win a game in the NCAA tournament? We'll see. All right, our next game we're going to talk about the Nets versus the Celtics. Now, this is the second time that these teams met. The Celtics got the dub 107 and 121. They're now 2-0 against the Nets. They just have their number right now. I mean, they did. The Nets were losing. They were without Cam Thomas and also Ben Simmons, two crucial pieces to their team. The Celtics shot the ball. I mean, they didn't shoot efficiently, but they made 19 threes. I mean, you make 19 threes, kudos to you, man. I mean, they had a guy off the bench, Sam Hauser. I believe that's his name. Yeah, Hauser. He had 5 threes off the bench, man, and that was ridiculous to me. You know, when you get a guy come off the bench hitting 5 threes, that's a big boost to your team. 5 for 10 for three, 50% straight down the middle. Peyton Pritchard had a decent game. He's +9 on the floor, 13 points. But this game belongs to Jaylen Brown and Jrue Holiday. Jaylen Brown, 28 points, 10 for 8, 19 from the field, 5 for 9 from three, which is pretty efficient if you ask me. I mean, Jaylen Brown, he hasn't been dominating. They have a lot of new pieces over there, so I think guys are trying to really find their rhythm, find their role. We know what Tatum is, 23 points, 10 rebounds. He's been killing on the boards this year. I think he started last year really, especially in the playoffs, just killing on the rebounds, but he's picked right back up this year, +28 from the field. I think their whole starting five was plus this game. But Jrue Holiday, 1 assist away from a triple-double, 13 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Excellent game. Porzingis only had 25 minutes this game, 9 points. He didn't need to do too much. Like I said, this game was led by Brown, Tatum, Jrue Holiday. Then you had some production off the bench from Hauser and Peyton Pritchard as well. On the Nets side, they didn't really get too much production from nobody. They welcomed back Cam Johnson from injury. He didn't shoot that well from the field, 4 for 13, but he did log in double-digit points, 11 points. I think once this Nets team get healthy, they'll be a lot better. Lonnie Walker off the bench, 20 points. I think he's going to help them get some points on the board. He comes off the bench gunning like that. But Dinwiddie, Bridges, 12 points. That's not enough, man. You guys had to do better for that. But Boston is a pretty good defensive team, so they make it tough on guys. And Brooklyn really couldn't hang, to be honest. By halftime, the team was down double-digit points, and they just couldn't get their foot in after that. They never led at all this whole game, and the Celtics went up as much as 24 points this game. So the Celtics team, they lost their last two against the Sixers and Minnesota, bounced back in season tournament, and they got them a dub, which what I expected from this team. This team is one of the best in the East, one of the best in the league. They have one of the best players in the league on their team with Jason Tatum. And I expected them to get this W, and they did exactly what I expected. So I believe this was their first game in the in-season tournament, and they're now 1-0. But the Brooklyn, they're now 1-1. So in-season tournament, these records are, they get a little, the Wizards 0-2, they're 1-1. So it's getting interesting. All right. We knew the Celtics was going to win that game pretty much. No Cam Thomas, no Ben Simmons. They don't have enough over there in Brooklyn. They need to really be healthy to beat these top teams, and they just wasn't that last game. So now the next game we're going to talk about is the Pelicans and the Rockets. I mean, this game was pretty interesting. It was pretty fun to watch. I'm not going to lie. The Rockets had a lead going into the halftime. Then the Pelicans just surged in the third, winning 31-16. But then, fourth quarter came and Houston took over pretty much, outscoring the Pelicans by 12 with 10 points from Van Fleet in the fourth. 9 of them points coming within the last minute and 30, 2 minutes in the game, hitting 2 threes, 2 free throws to end the game on a 9-1 run against the Pelicans to seal the deal. The Pelicans, 18 turnovers. They can't have that. 27 points were scored off those turnovers. The Rockets, man, Udoka has these guys playing. They lost their first 3, and then they won 5 straight. Van Fleet has upped his play. He has took over as far as being a leader out there, getting some assists, scoring in clutch moments, hitting his 3. And also, you got my boy Jalen Green out there doing his thing. He's been balling as well. I like this guy. I like this team in the Rockets. young team, up and coming team, another young team that I really, really like. I think having Udoka really was the icing on the cake for this team. Veteran coach. I mean, he's not super duper. He hasn't been coaching for a super long coach. I mean, super long year, but he's been doing good with his team. I like what I seen after they lost their first three. They just turned it up. I mean, 5 straight wins. It's pretty good. They have a solid team. Dylan Brooks, one of the most efficient players this year in the league. He had 10 points yesterday. He didn't do too much for them, but Sengun, Van Fleet, and also Jalen Green, 20-point games. Sengun has been a beast, 11 for 15 from the field. Very efficient. I'm loving what I'm seeing from this team. Despite a 31-point game from Brandon Ingram, 24 from Zion, who, by the way, I believe he had 24 points at halftime. And he didn't score ever since, or third quarter or something like that. He didn't score the whole and that can happen. You can't go a whole quarter, especially the fourth quarter, money time, and you don't get no buckets. Like Zion, when you first came in, it's big hype about you. I mean, you back now, my boy. We need to see you dominating like you're supposed to, especially against a Rockets team. Like I said, I like this team, but they're a very young team. You should be able to do your thing against them, But the Rockets were able to prevail against you guys, Van Fleet played the game, like I said, 10 of his 20 points in the fourth quarter. He had 8 assists as well. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him, being a veteran leader out there. And the Pelicans, man, I mean, my boy Jordan Hawkins out of UConn, DMV native. He 14 points, 7 rebounds, 3 for 8 from the 3-point line. He gives him a nice little spark. They're down though, They don't have CJ McCollum. They don't have Jose Alvarez, and I believe that they was missing Herb Jones. 3 crucial pieces of their team. So I expect them to bounce back once they get their guys back and get some W's. They're 4-5 right now. The Pelicans and the Rockets, like I said, lost their first 3, won 5 straight. They're now 5-3, trending upward. So it's getting interesting in the West Coast, man. The Pelicans, I mean, the Clippers, these teams aren't winning like a lot of people thought they were going to win starting the season. But it's still very early, only 8 games in, 9 games in. So we're going to see how they're going to bounce back. But right now, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Udoka and these Houston Rockets, young and upcoming team. Shout out my cousin Ty. He's a Rockets fan. Man, I like what I'm seeing, man. I like what I'm seeing. So next game we're going to talk about the Utah Jazz and the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the Grizzlies, free Ja Morant, man. I can't wait till he come back because they need him. I mean, they're 1-8 right now. 0 for 5 at home, which is terrible. Last year they were 36-5 at home. I mean, they already got their 5 losses match from last year. So what's going to happen? I mean, Jaren Jackson got ejected this year this game in the third quarter. The coach thought that the refs were just not giving them the calls that they needed, but as a baller, you can't let the ref dictate the game. You got to keep balling. You can't cry for the whistle. You got to make them force them to make a call, and you can't get frustrated like that. So, JJ, I need you to keep your head out there. Your team needs you, man. I mean, you're playing pretty good this year. I mean, I'm gonna give you a shout out right quick. Right now, you're averaging 21 and 6.8 rebounds, 2.4. So on assists, shooting 50% from the field, that is pretty good numbers. Averaging 2 blocks a game. I mean, you got to be out there for your team, my boy. They need you out there, especially against the Utah Jazz team, who's been struggling. You knew they was going to give them their best punch. I mean, I ain't going to say they've been struggling. They need you because y'all been struggling. Bang gave you guys 37 points yesterday. It just wasn't enough for y'all. Just didn't do enough. Marcus Smart's there now. What is he doing? He fouls out this game, 8 points, 2 assists, not enough. 3 for 9 from the field, 0 for 4 for 3. That's not it. I mean, Marcus Smart's going to come over there and really help this team keep their competitive edge, help run the offense a little bit, but he hasn't been really showing up. Bismack Biyombo has been a blessing to them since they signed him. 15 points, 15 rebounds. I mean, that's what he do, man. Any team that this guy plays for, he plays hard, he rebounds hard. I really love Bismack. He's one of my favorite centers because, it don't matter. You give him 5 minutes to 25 minutes. He's going to give you 100% effort, and you need those kind of guys when you're trying to get W's. But Memphis, y'all need to hurry up and do something, man. Because 1-8, if Ja Morant come back and y'all at least have 10 wins, I'm not sure if y'all gonna make the playoffs. I'm gonna keep it real. I just don't think y'all got enough. If that happens, because y'all already lost Steven Adams for the year, who's crucial for you guys. I mean, Steven Adams doesn't get enough praise that he needs. I mean, the guy is hardcore on the rebounds. He's a solid defender. His picks are impeccable. A lot of guys say when he said the pick, man, it's like trying to run through a brick wall. They're missing all those elements out there. Bang, though, he did go off for 37.7 for 13 from the 3-point line. That's ridiculous. Also adding 8 assists. Hey, man, keep balling, Bang. They're going to need as much they can get from you. You might got to try to take over a game like this because guys like Smart, he's not it. I'm sorry. I've never been a big Marcus Smart fan. He is, what can I say, a good defender. However, he on offense, he makes a lot of ill-advised decisions, man. Takes bad shots. He doesn't know how to feed the hot hand. I mean, I'm gonna pray for the Memphis Grizzlies. They did have their rookie Jacob Gilliard out of Richmond. He had a solid game. He started for them, 14 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. Not too bad. He did have 2 turnovers, which isn't too bad with the 8 assists. Um, 5 of 10 from the field. He hit 4 for 9 for 3, so that's a plus sign for them. They're missing, like I said, John Morant's not there, and also who else is hurt? Zaire Williams didn't play at all for them either, and Derrick Rose. That's what I was looking for. Derrick Rose, the savvy veteran off the bench, hasn't played for them. So this is the second time they met the Jazz, and the Jazz are now 2-0 against these guys. And Clarkson and Markkinen, 26 points each. 4 for 9 for 3 for Markkinen, 8 for 13 from the field. Very, very efficient, over 50%. Clarkson over 50% from the field, 9 for 16, 2 for 5 for 3. They balled out. Clarkson has been on lately. I believe he's been getting about 20 points these last couple games. He's found his rhythm. Well, actually, he had 26, 33 last game. He had 2 games in between that, not too good, but 20 games, 20 games after that. So Jordan Clarkson been doing his thing, averaging 16 points off the bench, only shooting 38%. He can get that field goal percentage up a little bit more, but I think that'll come. The Utah, the second time, their rookie Keontae George from Baylor has started 7 points, 11 assists. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Didn't shoot well from the field at all. 2 for 12, 1 for 6, but the 11 assists made up for that. Hey man, you just might have made my rookie list. So you will be on the list next time I talk about the rookies. You will be on the list, my boy. You and Jordan Hawkins from the Pelicans. So shout out Keontae George. I like what I'm saying from the young buck. He's showing his ability to play the point guard position in the league. When your shot's not falling, are you still getting guys involved? Are you still being a crucial part of the process? And yes, he is. Another guy I want to shout out, John Collins from Atlanta. Solid game, 5 for 6 from the field, 3 for 3 for 3, 18 points. I mean, 4 blocks as well. Solid game, man. You're giving them guys good minutes. I believe your last couple games, you actually been coming alive. Yeah, double digits. He's actually scored double digits in every game this year. So averaging 15 points, 8 rebounds, shooting 54% from the field. Great year so far for you, John Collins. I think this Jazz team is a better fit for you, to be honest. Over there in Atlanta, you have a lot of ball dominance and Trae Young and also DeJounte Murray. But here, the ball moves a lot more, and I think that's more suitable for your skill set. So Utah Jazz now 3-8 on the season. 121 to 127. And we already talked about the Memphis. They only won 1 game, 1-8. That's terrible right now. Hopefully they can get it together, get some wins for Ja. Because if they don't have at least like 10-9 wins, I'm not sure if they're gonna make the playoffs, like I said. Because the West is going to heat up, and we got a lot of young, good teams, and also teams like the Suns, the Lakers, and the Clippers. I think will start getting some W's. But an in-season tournament right now, I think both these teams' first game, yeah, that's their first game. We have the Jazz 1-0. Oh, actually, the Memphis is 0-2 now. I mean, the only win this year was against the Blazers, and the Blazers aren't that good. So pick it up, Memphis, because hey, Ja Morant gonna need some dubs, man. He can't come back and y'all gonna go on a 20-game win streak. I don't see that happening. So y'all gotta step that game up. All right, next game we gonna talk about is the Timberwolves versus the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama versus Gobert. The France, the French connection. I mean, a lot of people aren't high on Gobert, but he's a solid. He's long arms. You would expect him to make it tough for Wemby, but Wemby actually had a good game. 29 points, I believe 9 rebounds and 4 blocks. He added 4 assists, 3 for 7 from three, 12 for 21 from the field. Solid game. Vassell also had 29 points, 7 for 9 from the free throw line. That was crucial to me, if you ask me. That's one thing Wemby has to do, man. He has to get to the line a little bit more. 2 for 4 is not enough with your size and your impact towards the rim. I mean, I would expect you to attack the rim a little bit more, but I think that would come the more you play this game, the more your body gets a little more acclimated to this league. You get a little more stronger to withstand these blows. Vassell shot 6-11 from the three, which is excellent. 8 for 16 from the field at his 29 points as well. Keldon Johnson, if he would have just gave him at least like 15 points, they probably would have won this game. He only had 6 points, shooting 2 for 10 from the field goal range, and 0 for 3 from the three. That's not enough, man. You're supposed to be the best wing scorer actually, and you didn't produce enough. Timberwolves are a pretty good defensive team. They have some good wins against the Celtics, and I forgot the last team they beat. They beat the Celtics, and then they beat the Nuggets as well. Two top teams in each conference. They haven't won a away game yet until yesterday. Actually, that was the first game on the road that they won. They're actually on a 5-game winning streak, and they're looking good. I'm not gonna lie, they're looking like a sneaky team. Anthony Edwards, 28 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, shooting 9 for 21 from the field. Where he really got his money worth was at the free throw line. 8 for 11 from the free throw line. Young guys take notes of this. He shot 9 for 21, which isn't that great, but 8 from 11 from the free throw line. That's 8 points off the line right there. So that's what you're supposed to do, man. Get to the line, attack the basket, especially when you're an athletic guy. Like a Keldon Johnson, I expect you to attack the basket a little bit more. You only shot 4 free throws. Your shot wasn't falling. Go to the basket. But Cat had a good game as well. 29 points, 12 rebounds. Cat, Cat is very talented. He's very good. I like Cat. One thing is his motor runs low at times, so you're gonna get these games from Cat. He's gonna ball out of control, go crazy, but then you can also have games where he doesn't do nothing. Like that's the Cat I know. Well, that Cat, like against Boston, they won, but 7 points, 7 turnovers, 10 rebounds, and he fouled out. I mean, Anthony Edwards had to put on his cape and save them that game because Cat is not. He doesn't give him what he need every game. He has been playing good every other game other than that, but I just gotta see him consistently do this, especially when the playoff time comes because we've seen him get this small in the playoffs. So good game yesterday though, Cat. I'm not gonna take that away from you. 29, 12 rebounds, excellent game. 11 and 10 for Rudy Gobert. We don't expect him to score that many points. We do expect him to eat on the glass. He didn't have no blocks this game, which is surprising to me. He normally gets at least 1 block. But Timberwolves looking like a pretty solid team on the defensive end. They've been balling. They're a top defensive team this year in the league. Actually, when you go to points allowed, they're number one. So they're doing their thing on the defensive end. They're hanging their hat on defense, and their stars pulling through for him, man. Anthony Edwards, he's having a good year so far. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the guy. He's one of my favorite young players. I like his attitude. I like his approach to the game. He's averaging about 29 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 50% from the field. You keep this up, my boy. That's MVP considerations to me. Now, I expected you to come out and have a good year this year. You know, you have been a leader. You played in the FIBA Cup this year, over the summer, and you were the leading guy. You were doing your thing. You were the guy that the coach called upon to take the shot, to take over. and you did your thing for the most part. This is your fourth year in the league, so I expect you to make the jump, averaging 24.5 last year. Now you're up to about 28. Keep going, my boy. Keep pushing, because that's literally the only way I can see Timberwolves being relevant. Because, like I said, I don't believe in Cat. I don't believe in that Cat at all. He's gonna give you games, but I don't expect him to lead y'all. So, Cat, step your game up, man. Stay consistent, because my man Ant-Man needs you out there. He needs you out there. All right, next game we're gonna talk about is the Mavericks versus the Clippers. Whew, I don't know what it is about the Clippers, man, but Luka just loves playing against these guys. He really does love playing against these guys. He had 44 points. Very efficient game, by the way. Shot 17 for 21. He missed 4 shots, and 3 of those shots were three-pointers. 6 for 9 from the three. 44 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. Excellent game. Excellent game. It's like I think when he see the Clippers on the schedule, especially at home, he know it's time to eat. I mean, the basket just gets big as the ocean for this guy. He can't miss. I mean, it was so bad. The Clippers didn't play no starters, I don't believe, in the fourth quarter. Well, at least I know the big four didn't play. I call them the big four because they just got big names. They're not the big four because of their play. So don't think I'm saying like they dominate. That's why they're the big four. No, just because they're big four names on that team that start. Paul George had an abysmal game. 8 points, shooting 3 for 12, 1 for 7 from the 3-point line. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. He only played 23 minutes because of how bad he was playing. And this Clippers team just can't get right since getting Harden, man. I mean, they wasn't really winning before. They're 0 for 5 on the road, so anytime they're on the road, they just can't get it done. The Mavericks, 144 points hung on their head. They had 100 points in the third quarter. Like I said, it was ugly for this team, man. They had a 32-point lead at one point. I mean, that's just terrible. Powell couldn't get nothing going off the bench for the Clippers. Only played 11 minutes, 0 points. Bose Highland had a decent game, 17 points. I mean, he's been pretty cool this year for this team. I think the Clippers need to find order over there. Getting Harden didn't help their order at all. Our boy CTT Carl, he spoke on it on the R2L show how they don't know how things going to gel, and apparently neither the Clippers. They can't get right. James Harden making excuses saying he hasn't had training camp. He's not in a gameplay shape. Well, tell the coach to take you off the bench now, because you're hurting this team right now. I mean, they had a solid flow before you got there, and now you're here, and it seems like they just don't know how to flow. You taking shots. You were 3 for 6 yesterday, but that's beside the point. If you're not gonna make shots, you got to make assists. And you only had 3 assists last game. That's not enough. 6 for 6 from the free throw line. You still know how to get to the line and cash out there, which is a plus. However, this team don't really need your scoring as much. They really need you to be a facilitator. You led the league in assists last year, and I think you need to do the same thing here, because this team just in shambles right now. So it's getting you. PJ Tucker only has 6 minutes, which is weird to me. He's probably the best defender on this team, the best guy to check a guy like a Luka, make it tough on him. 6 minutes not enough. If you look at this team, man. Their starting lineup, they got to bring one of those guys off the bench. And Russ or Harden, one of those guys got to come off the bench. I nominate Russ because I think Russ going to be Russ off the bench or starting. Just give him his minutes, and I think he'll be a good asset off the bench. He'll bring that energy, that excitement off the bench, that toughness off the bench with a Harden. I think he could do better with the starters, getting guys like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard involved, running pick and roll with a Zubac. I like it. I think who would I start? So Harden, Zubac, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. Maybe a Bones Highland to start because he can score as well. Actually, I might throw out Terrence Mann to start. Terrence Mann to start with that group would be okay. And then you can have Bones Highland, Westbrook, Norman Powell, PJ Tucker, and they're missing Plumlee right now. But once Plumlee come back, I think that'll be a solid 5 off the bench right there. So I think they gotta just figure things out over here and with the Clippers, and I think they'll be okay. But right now they're not looking so good. They haven't got a W on the road, like I said. While the Mavericks are just the polar opposite, 7-2, 4-1 at home. They've been balling out of control. They're a top offensive team in the league, as you can see, putting up 144 points, 100 points by the third quarter. This team doesn't have the best depth, to be honest, but Tim Hardaway Jr., we know he's about. He's always been a 6-man of the year candidate. Seth Curry hasn't really been able to find his rhythm with this team or even find minutes of that, to be honest. Everybody on this team, almost everybody hit a three, except for the 2 centers and 2 other guys. But Kyrie, 27 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 for 9 for 3, 8 for 19. He finally had a breakout game, which is good to see. Whenever you get these 2 guys clicking, they're going to be hard to stop because a guy like a Derrick Jones Jr., 10 rebounds, 11 points, he's always been a good role player. Every team he's went for, he's impacted in some way. If it's not on the offensive side, he's going to defend very well. He's been on the glass a lot lately with this team, which when you got guys like Luka and Kyrie, like I said, they garner a lot of attention. It leaves you free for a lot of opportunity. Derek Lively ended up fouling out this game. Young rookie, you're going to see those type of things. Bad fouls, bad angles, not in the right spot at the right time. But this Mavericks team is looking good so far. He normally starts the season a little slow, but this year Luka he's just killing. He's out the gate killing, and the team is following suit. As long as Luka and Kyrie's out there balling, this team is going to be very hard to stop. Hardy, rookie off second, I think second or third year, he had a decent game off the bench. 11 points, 5 for 8 from the field. He can come on off the bench and fill it up. But like I said, man, they dominated this game. Second quarter, they had beat this team. They beat the Clippers 47-18 in the second quarter. And since then, they just couldn't regain themselves. So shout out to the Mavs. They balling this year. 7-2 record, 4-1 at home. Top offensive team, and they can put their hard hats on and play some defense as well. So I like what I'm seeing out the Mavericks from last year. That terrible way to end the season, tanking like that, just not even trying to win. Come on, man. I just that was just terrible to me. But they're making up for it so far this year, trying to ball out of control. They won this game from the 3-point line, really, making 19 threes out of 42 attempts. When the Clippers only 8 for 27, I mean, you make 11 more threes. That's 33 more. That's 33 points right there. So they were hot from 3, and they were home, man. Once they start hitting, especially when the Mavericks at home start hitting, it could be very difficult on any team. So shout out to the Mavs. Their 2 superstars came to the ball, and their role players followed their lead, as always. All right, next game I want to touch on is the Thunder against the Kings. The Kings really dominated this game. They controlled this game really from the jump. They out-rebounded them 38-52, 14-point deficit. Sabonis, ever since that game when he only shot 4 times, been killing. He was 1 assist away from a triple-double last game, but this game got his triple-double. 17 points, 13 assists, 13 rebounds. Playing pretty good. He did have 5 turnovers and 5 fouls, which, that's going to come when you're playing a high-paced game. You're the best player out there. You're trying to do the most. And this Thunder team attacks the basket a lot. And he's not the best shot blocker. He's undersized, big man, but he gets the job done. This game was led by Kevin Uter and also Keegan Murray, 24 points for Murray, 28 for Uter. They both was hard on the glass, man. I mean, Keegan Murray, 11 rebounds and 9 rebounds for Uter. I mean, you can't ask for more for those guys. That's pretty good if you ask me. 28 points, 4 for 10 for 3, 3 for 10 for 3 for Keegan Murray. Those 2 guys really did their thing for this team, but they really won this game on the defensive end, holding the Thunder to under 100 points, which this Thunder team, they can put up some points. They score over 100 almost every game. I think it's the first time they've actually scored under 100 points this year, and well, actually their second time they scored 100, under 100 against the Nuggets as well. We know how good the Nuggets are, especially when they're at home. But the Kings did a really good job on the defensive end. You know, they got out in the first half and got out to a good lead and was able to pretty much maintain their lead. Um, Malik Monk had a solid game off the bench, 12 points, 8 assists. I mean, 8 assists is pretty good if you ask me. You know, when you're not scoring a lot of buckets, 12 points is cool, but we know Malik Monk, especially with Fox out, we expect him to get buckets. But 12 points and 8 assists, I can't get mad at that, man. You shot 5 of 12. Your shot wasn't falling as much, not too bad, but being able to, help out in the game with doing assists is crucial. Shows that you're very diverse. You can do more than just score, and I like what I saw after that. They started a guy in Ellis, his first season, Keon Ellis. I believe this is his first game playing, starting this year. I thought it was an adjustment that Mike Brown has made, putting him in the starting lineup over. Actually, the second game started, putting him in the starting lineup over Davion Mitchell with Fox being out, and it looks like that was a good change for them because they've won their last two with him in the starting lineup, and then actually him in the starting lineup as a bonus, stepping up his play. 3 for 4 is shooting without Fox is unacceptable. You're the best player on the floor. You got to take your shots. You might not be the best scorer on the floor, but you're the best player on the floor. You play the big man position. You're right there by the basket, so we expect you to attack the basket a lot more. And you've been doing your thing these last two games. Not gonna lie, triple double this game. Keep it up, my boy. You're doing your thing. Davion Mitchell, he don't give you a lot of points, but he's there on the defensive end. He only shot all threes this game, 1 for 6 from three. Which, hey man, get it how you can. You're really more of a defender. I don't expect you to score that many points, even though you do have some skill on the offensive end. Your defense is what you really impact this game on. Um, Joe Boy, he kept raving about over the summer. Sasha, 2 for 3, 8 minutes, hit two threes, man. He's eventually going to get more minutes and he's going to get going, and that's probably going to be very scary from how Joe been talking about him, calling him like Peja. So we're gonna see what they do. On the Thunder side, Shea gonna be Shea, 33 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds. He just needed more from his guys. Lou Dort, only 8 points, 2 for 5 from the field. That's not enough. Uh, Jalen Williams, 14 points, 6 for 14. It was just a defensive game from the Kings. They really did their thing on the defensive end, holding this team down to as many points as they had. They were able to kill them on the glass, which didn't lead to too many second chance opportunities for this team. That's how you play defense. You get a stop, but you got to finish the play with a rebound. You can't let like the Kings were able to get 16 offensive rebounds, which led to 16 more chances at the basket. So you gotta be able to limit them at far as getting more defensive rebounds if you are the Thunder and not allowing so many offensive rebounds because all you're doing is giving them more chances at the basket. So the Kings, this is their first time meeting. They got their dub against them. The Kings are now 500 at 4-4, and the Thunder are 5-4 right now, one game over 500. And these teams got after it, man. The Kings, they had a two bounce back W's after falling to the Rockets. And I like what I'm seeing right now. Mike Brown's preaching to this team that they're a good team, no matter what five that they bring out there. So even though you don't have Fox, you guys still can put up points. So if you believe in your coach, I believe you guys will be all right. The Kings are now 1-0 in season tournament, and the Thunder are 0-2. Surprisingly, pretty good young team. They've been battling a little bit of injury, but I expect them to bounce back. They're now 0-2. They put themselves in a little hole with some pretty good teams up top with Golden State, Kings, and the Timberwolves. 1-0 right now, so we'll see what happens if they're able to bounce back. All right, the final game I want to talk about, and I think was probably one of the most exciting games, is the Lakers and the Suns. Both having a 4-5 record right now. It's a pretty back and forth game, really. until the fourth quarter, really where the Lakers pretty much took over, outscoring the Suns by 10, 33-23. One thing I noticed about this game is that Darvin Ham made a change. We get a lot of complaints in the chat from the Lakers fans about how bad of a coach he is, but he actually made a good adjustment this game by starting Cam Reddish and bringing Austin Reeves off the bench. I think that's a good move for them. Shout out to my boy Cam Reddish. He's been around a couple teams, the Knicks, he's on the Hawks, played with the Blazers last year. Now found a home and the Lakers with the Lakers had 17 points in his first game starting, 28 minutes, 5 for 10 from the field, 5 for 8 from three. Really gave them a good spark that they need. He's a young guy that can really fill it up out there. He's a good shooter, a good scorer, and he brings a lot of energy. He had 3 steals as well, so he's an underrated defender. Um, D'Angelo Russell played pretty good, 19 points, 9 assists, 6 for 10, 6 for 12 from the field. He didn't make a three, but with 9 assists and going 7 for 9 from the free throw line, that's pretty good. Anthony Davis didn't have a great game, but he had a solid game. Didn't shoot well, 5 for 14 from the field, but 8 for 8 from the field free throw line. What I say, young guys, take notes. Your shot not falling, get to the line. That's 8 points right there, just off the line. 18 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, only 1 block. But the story of this game, well, let's touch on Austin Reeves. He had a great game as well. Really good contributor to this team for this game. He gets out the start lineup for Cam Reddish, like I said, but he still had a really good impact, playing 35 minutes, 6-11 from the field goal range, 2 for 4 for three, 7 assists, 15 points. Can't get mad at that, man. That's a solid game. He had some crucial buckets in the second half for this team that really helped propel them in this victory. But the story of this game was KD versus LeBron. Man, I don't remember the last time we had these two guys duel each other like this. I mean, it was a beautiful thing to see. LeBron, 32 points, 6 assists, 11 rebounds. KD, 38 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. It was a beautiful thing. 15 points in the fourth quarter by KD. LeBron James, he started off a little shaky. He was limping out there. I think he hurt his shin early on. He had to get some medical attention. But after that, it was all out. It was lights out. I mean, he played a really good game. It was really good to see that. That felt like early 2000s basketball, man, when two superstars going back and forth at it, man, giving it they all. It was nice. It was good to see. I really appreciated that. I don't remember last time we had those two. Like this year, we had 2 games where they played against each other. I don't remember last time we had 2 games in one year where these guys played against each other. I don't remember last time we had 1 game really. So shout out to both of them for even just being out there this late in their career, being able to put up numbers like that. 38 points for KD, 13 for 27 from the field, very efficient. 4 for 6, very efficient. 8 for 10 from the free throw line, very efficient. LeBron James, 11 for 17 from the field, very efficient. 3 for 4 for three, 7-11 from the free throw line, efficient. 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 32 points. It's King James, man. He balled out. They're now 2-0 against the Suns. I guess he was hearing all that chatter, about how him and KD never show up. One always out. A lot of guys say KD got his number, but Bron let him know, even though this late in his career, he still got smoke for him. They're now, like I said, they're now 2-0 against those guys, the Lakers. Let's talk about Bradley Beal. Second game back, 24 points. He had 20 in the first half. So we saw second half he couldn't really get much going, but that's just I think some rust. He'll knock the rust off. He knocked Bradley Beal knocked Gordon off the starting lineup, who's been playing well for them. He also played well, 13 points, 5 for 9, 3 for 4 for three. But this Suns team, they've really been a kind of a disappointment. First off, a lot of injuries. I don't know. The big three hasn't played not 1 game yet together. Either Booker's out, Bill's out. KD going through almost the same thing he did with Brooklyn, with Kyrie Harden. Somebody's always out. Somebody's always not playing, and he's there. So hopefully they can get that together because this Suns team, everybody got them in the championship with the Bucks or the Celtics or the Nuggets, and they're not looking like a top 14 right now. They're looking real subparish. So we get all those guys on the floor, and then we're gonna really see what they're about. But as far as the in-season tournament, I believe the Lakers right now, that was their first game. They're 1-0, and the Suns' first game 0-1. So right now it's still early in the tournament, still early in the season. Guys are getting after it. So let me know down in the comments, how did you enjoy the games yesterday? Did you see some competitive edge? Did you see guys really battle back and forth? Did it feel like you were watching playoff games, or did it just feel like another regular weekend? One thing I can say, these courts, man. Some of these games I can't watch because these courts are just so terrible, terrible. I heard, I think it was Yuta or Monk. Somebody said, "Man, I'm glad I caught gray because I seen some of them courts out there. They're just too bright," and it's true. Like y'all doing a little too much with the color on the court. I think if you had the regular hardwood floor, but just add like that color strip down the middle, and had the outside of the court, like the outside of the court, the out of bounds, the color. That's cool enough. You don't have to do too much with the court. It's an eyesore, man. I was watching the game yesterday on my TV, and it was too much. I had to put it on my iPad and make the screen a little smaller. It was just too much, and put the brightness down. So that's my feedback on them courts, man. Just too much. I'm an Orlando Magic fan, so I can't wait to see what our courts look like. I think the next action of in-season tournament play will be Tuesday. I'll let you guys know the matchups. You have the Magic away against the Nets. You have the Heat away against the Hornets. The Hawks away against the Pistons. Pacers away against the 76ers. Spurs away against the Thunder. Mavericks away against the Pelicans. Then you have the Blazers away against the Jazz. Clippers away against the Nuggets. And the Timberwolves away against the Warriors. So let me know in the comments also who you think gonna win those matchups, man. Let me know who y'all think was the most exciting matchup this past Friday, yesterday. Let me know who you think had the best game. Just give me your feedback on the in-season tournament so far. Let me know what you guys think, man, because so far for me, it's a little 50-50 how I'm feeling about it. The court's terrible. You get some games, you get some intensity out of some of these games, though. However, you do get your blowout still, which I think it's going to happen regardless. The NBA, guys get hot, guys get cold. You get some like teams like the Clippers making adjustments early on. A lot of new faces. Well, yeah, a couple of new faces. Well, a new face with James Harden, and we're gonna see how things unfold. But that's all I have for you guys today. Before you go, like, subscribe, share this video with anybody that's a big fan of the NBA. Anybody that want to know about in-season tournament. I got some young rookies I like to talk about. We're gonna be doing some player breakdowns, some team breakdowns. We're gonna talk about who's the top 5 teams in the NBA right now. It's still early in the season. We're gonna let them at least get about 15 games in. We're gonna talk about that. To do some mid-season awards. We're gonna get down to the nitty-gritty. We're just getting started. But stay tuned for all the other shows as well. You got BWT, CTC, FFC. You got Joe Jordan Show, Dave's Doghouse. You got the R2L Refuse to Lose Show, and our newest show, the Boston Show, in the Red Corner, which debuts tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Become a member. Click the link in the bio. We have chats that gives you exclusive news on all sports. Also, get a chance to get invited onto the show. RBO welcome guests as well. So, become a member. If you want to come on here and talk about a certain player, a certain team, man, just let your boy know, man. Become a member, join them chats, and get active. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for joining me. RBO round 2. We got plenty more to go. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe, and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.